Welcome to a Garage Geek 3-in-1. Hi everybody, welcome to Garage Geek. This is going to be a comic-centric 3-in-1. Part 1, Morten Assad sent me a beautiful package all the way from Denmark with this gigantic postcard. It's so cool. On the back, can I do this? There's this really cool sketch, which I love. I don't know if Morten did it or it came with the card, but I think he did it because it's, if you look over, it's like covered over that. So that is a really cool signature. I mean, I could totally show you what he's written. It's no big deal, but he's just explaining what's in the package. I also want to show off stamps because in another life, I would have been a philatelist. Is that what a stamp collector's called? I forget. Philatelist, I think they're called. Okay, a stamp collector. I know I would have been a stamp collector in another life. But look at these cool stamps. I really dig that one. That one is so cute. And I love that one too. The others are nice, but that's got to be my favorite. He sent me, besides a postcard, 2 comics. One's Norwegian and one is Danish. So if I mix them up, I'm sorry. This one is what I would consider a comic collection. So every couple of pages has a different artist and story teller. So it's like a compilation. So of course I don't know what it's about, but every time I look through it, I start giggling because it looks funny. The characters are drawn hilariously. I mean, look at this guy. look at this woman. Yeah, I just start giggling when I see this. I mean, look at this. He's pulling out all this junk out of his backpack, and that's exactly my students. Yeah, this stuff is cracking me up. I mean, look at that. That art is really cool. This is a 1-pager. But anyways, you get the idea. It's really cool, even just to look through it if you don't understand it. And this one is based on mythology, so it's kind of got 2 parts. It's got this really cool, almost etching drawing. I really dig that art style. It's really cool. And then after that, it turns into a more traditional cartoony type style. But this also looks like a lot of fun. It's got a giant wolf. So Morten, I just want to say thank you. This is so cool and fun, quirky. I'm so glad to get some comics from another country. That is so cool. And this gorgeous postcard. How cool would it be to be right there? Okay, part 2 of this video is the Friday night comic book challenge from Comic Collector Geek, and this one focused on masks. Now, his interpretation was kind of loose, just show any comic that has somebody in a mask. I took it a little step further. I wanted to pick comics where the masks were central to what was going on the cover. I have one that really doesn't, so I pulled 11. Here's this Batman and Batgirl, a 15 center. It is number 409 of Detective Comics. He says, "This is why you're going to die, Batman," and he must have pulled off a mask. And I don't know if he pulled it off himself, because, I mean, he's definitely all scarred. But a mask certainly has something to do with what is going on in that cover. I don't know where Batgirl is. Maybe that's Batgirl. Oh, this was the cheat. Okay, so this was the extra one. So I pulled this because I got this recently, and at first I thought, well, masks do play a role in here, but this is more about identity. I'm going to assume that this comic is going to be more based on Bruce Wayne's detective abilities rather than Batman's heroics, but that's just a guess from that cover. So yeah, that one was a cheat. Now this is my least favorite cover of the ones that I pulled, but he is unmasking himself in a hospital bed. I mean, in a hospital room. This is Batman number 476. I probably got this because I liked the yellow. But yeah, I really do not like that cover. Here's another cover that is just okay. This one just cracks me up. I mean, come on. So this is Superman in Action Comics. At long last, so she finally takes off Superman's glasses and he's opening up his shirt like she's finally realizing that Clark Kent is Superman by removing his glasses. I mean, he is also opening up his shirt. The secret revealed. It only took, what, 40 years? This one is another kind of cheat, but I thought the mask was integral to this cover. This is one I got recently, so I haven't changed the bag yet. So this is Marvel 2-in-1 featuring the Thing, and that is number 91. Now, normally it always says the Thing but here the Thing is, is bound, and we don't know who the guest star is. Ah, no, not you. It can't be you. But, I mean, it really does look like Batman's going to show up. And, of course, Batman is from DC Comics, and he couldn't be here. To be honest, I don't even remember who that is. So when I change the bag, I'll definitely open that up. I have another Thing. And the reason I pulled this one is because the Thing is trying to go incognito. So he's definitely, wearing a type of mask. And I thought that was integral to this cover. And that is Fantastic Four, number 296. There's a lot of glare because of the Mylar. Okay, the mask is certainly important in this cover. This is a John Byrne cover, although it would be hard, you'd be hard-pressed to know that that was John Byrne. But this is during John Byrne's run, and that is just a straight-up mask with light coming through. The Mask of Doom, and they spell it all ancient. So that is number 268 of the Fantastic Four. Here again, the mask is very small in this cover, but the fact that, he was either taking his mask on or taking it off when the people are monitoring him, which leads to the drama on this cover. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 106. This is a recent acquisition. It's got some writing on it, but I got this for a reasonable price, and I was very happy. Anytime I can get some old Spider-Man for a decent price, I'm very happy. They go for so much money. Squash Goes the Spider. So here we have a 20-cent Captain America and the Falcon. So basically Captain America number 147. And this one is the Supreme Hydra unmasked. So Captain America, pulls off and he's being hidden. We don't know who it is. Maybe it's a Steve Rogers clone. All right, two more. Here we have the unmasking of the Hobgoblin. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 276. No, it can't be true. I finally managed to unmask the Hobgoblin, but it can't be him. The face beneath the mask at last. I forget who it is. And my number one mask cover. Now, this is more about identity, I think, again, than mask. And I've showed this one before, but I just love this cover. This is Captain America, number 114 at 12 center. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous comic. The man behind the mask, John Romita. You can tell me if you think that that's a cheat on the mask cover or not, the mask theme. So there you have it, my 10+1 Friday night comic book challenge. Part 3 of this video is I'm trotting out my Jack Kirby collection. Of course, I also have the Fourth World Omnibus, which is probably as big as all of these put together, that Sleepy Reader 666 gave to me. I'm still in awe that he gave me that. But it's on the shelf, and it's so heavy, and I didn't want to pull it down because holding this up is enough. But I am working through all of these, and I am going to work through the Fourth World Omnibus. So when I do that, of course, I'll be talking about them. So I have been reading these. I'm in the middle of both of these. I took kind of a break, but I will get back to them. I'm also in the middle of the Fantastic Four, the first Epic collection. But I whined, and Sleepy Reader went ahead and sent me this in the mail, which I am so thankful for because, it goes with this collection. And I didn't want, they have another version of this available, but I didn't want to buy it because, I wanted it to go along with this collection. All of them have that, they're the same. So I was like, nope, I have to have this one. So he went ahead and sent it to me in the mail. And I'm so glad he did. It was so short that I went ahead and read it. And I'm going to be showing off some of the art. What did I think of this? This is what escapist comics should be. This was so much fun, and the art was so bombastic. It's just like escapist fun, and I think Jack Kirby was so good at that. I mean, look at that cover. It's hilarious, and it's ridiculous, but you kind of are intrigued, like, what is going on there? This is near the end of his career, I guess. I'm not good with timelines, because I think also Superpowers, which I have to read, is near the end of his career as well. Or at least his time at DC. And in fact, the last comic, this is an 8-issue series, the last comic, the cover was drawn by Andy Kubert. I'm not sure if it's Kubert or Kubert. Sorry, Joe Kubert, Andy's father. And I think he also was the one to take over Commandy from issues 41 through 60. But the interior art is all Jack Kirby. And it ends on a cliffhanger, which was really strange. So it just kind of just ended. So we're going to have a flip through this. What a feast for the eyes this art is. And I'll talk a little bit about the hilarious stories. So basically, this guy is an everyman nerd who is shot with this ray from outer space. When it comes up, we'll see it. There's a spaceship in the sky, and it transforms that everyman into O.M.A.C, who is a one-man army corps. And the reason he's needed is the police force of the Earth will only use peace. So he's the one who will go in and use violence to stop the major criminals, when the police force will just come in and mop up after him. And the police force is really cool because they spray their faces so that no one can know their race or their identity, so that the world can be equal. Now, I'm going to be showing off these splash pages because I just think they're so much fun. This is the spaceship. He's in contact with the spaceship constantly, and the spaceship is always there to like give him boosts of energy. And the spaceship sends down beams to help O.M.A.C. It's all pretty silly, but who cares? It's so much fun. So here we have the birth of O.M.A.C. I do want to say, though, that Jack Kirby covers are usually really one of the best features of his comics. In almost every case, the comic book covers on this series are probably some of the weakest aspects of these comic books. I mean, the splash pages are usually better than the covers. And look at this. There's the spaceship. I think he's called the Big Eye. Here we have another splash page. So throughout this book, O.M.A.C goes on adventures to stop like super criminals. The first adventure he goes on is he goes into this city where the wealthy have rented out the whole city, and it's kind of like the Purge. So he's got to go in there and stop them. And those are the two worst baddies. I do have to say that I think this cover is hilarious. So now that is look, there's O.M.A.C, and then look at that. Look at that cool splash page. Like, that is just so Kirby. There's a female member of the Peace Force with her spray. So he goes up into orbit because he's got to get to another place on the Earth. So they shoot up and then they come down. So making travel anywhere on Earth within minutes. So he's got this little rocket, but it's blown apart. And so he's flying around in this chair, and this chair has all these like cool abilities. Like it shoots out stuff to stop tanks, and it's pretty hilarious. Like, he's flying around on this chair. So this adventure where he's trying to stop a dictator, so he's sent in, and this one took up 2 issues. Look at that double page spread. That's the Earth, that's the spaceship. Just so cool. He flips over a tank. It's hard to see, but yeah, he was here and he flips the tank. Like, Kirby art is often busy, and you kind of have to go through it to figure out everything that's happening, but it's worth it. So here is that dictator brought to trial. There's O.M.A.C and the Peace Force. And in this part, that dictator has sent some kind of monster so that he can be broken out. In the next adventure, which I kind of really like this part. So O.M.A.C has to go into this mafia organization, and they are making money by promising people that they could do brain transplants. And they have a close-up of it here. Kirby was kind of really good at this because it wasn't already happening. They were showing simulations of it. So no one in the book was actually had their brain transplanted, which I thought was funny. That was a way to get around, I guess, the violence, maybe. The mob is going around, capturing all of these really young, beautiful people so that older mobsters can bid to see which body that they want to have their brain transposed into. Here's another splash page. New bodies for old. I mean, this stuff is such a joy to read. Here is one of the evil mobsters. It's a woman. I mean, he is just so bad. Like when he draws evil people, like the way he makes them look evil is hilarious. This story continues because they have to break into the mobster, basically, stadium. And they go through the subways to get there, but the subway is booby-trapped with all these weird creatures and this train. Look at that. That is just a cool face. Oh, here's another page where he's being attacked by the creatures. There he is. He's hitting one. Death ride. Here they're waiting for the train, but the train is going to be booby-trapped in clever ways. Here is, I love this guy's face. Here is a mobster boss getting ready for his brain transplant. This is another cover that is actually quite nice. I think I misspoke, but the majority of the covers are not up to Kirby standard. Well, I mean, the interior art is, but for some reason, the covers aren't. Now, this is awesome. In issue 7 and 8, he's going to have to battle a man who is able to hyper-condense water into the size of a cube. And he's going to take away all the Earth's oceans to make governments pay for the water. Here he is. O.M.A.C is on these like little, what would you call those, ski shoes? And he's like, but look at this. That double page spread is just so cool. His fish are like otherworldly though. I've never seen fish like that. So he goes to pick up this block, but it's as heavy as an ocean, and he's having difficulty picking it up. Here is the bad guy's vehicle, and he has a way to transport these by nullifying the weight. It's just, this stuff is so much fun. It's hilarious. That guy, that's the bad guy's face. Here's a chapter entitled I Spy, You Die. And like I said, here is the last issue of O.M.A.C, which was done by Joe Kubert, not by Jack Kirby, but the interior art is all Jack Kirby. And we got this great double page spread. I mean, look at that. Just really brilliant art. Oh, look at those three. This stuff is brilliant. Just brilliant art. Now, as a kid, I did not appreciate any of this. I disliked this art intensely. But now as an adult, I just think this is so brilliant. And then we have a couple of extra pages at the end of art, sketches. So there you have it. The 8-issue O.M.A.C series. So again, Sleepy Reader 666, thank you so much for sending me that. I enjoyed this so much, and I'm so happy to have this in my collection. The next one I have to add is the Demon, and when I add that one, I think I might have them all. I'm not sure. I gotta research that. So there you have a Garage Geek 3-in-1. Again, I want to thank Morton Assad. I want to thank Sleepy Reader 666, and I want to thank Comic Collector Geek for the Friday Night Challenge. Thank you all for the support.